Thanks for joining us here on the Main Street Maury High School basketball preview for boys. That's Chris Yao. I'm Maurice Patton, and we got a little ambitious here. Every now and then we do, but we toured most of the basketball programs, the campuses in our Main Street Maury footprint to get you preview video interviews with coaches from across the area.
It was ambitious, but I think it provides a in-depth look at what you're going to see across the entire southern Middle Tennessee region for the next 3 months, heading into district and region tournament play. I mean, nowhere else are you going to find more comprehensive or timely coverage of high school sports in southern Middle Tennessee than right here. And so we're happy to bring it to you. We're happy to go out and get that information because, like you said, there's a lot of new things.
There is a lot of new things. There's a lot of new folks. There's a lot of new coaches. There's new districts and regions, and there's even new rules.
There are.
The foul situation this year, when you go to games, don't get caught off guard. Bonus starts after the 5th foul of each quarter, and it's all 2 shots. No more 1-and-1.
No more 1-and-1.
That's gonna feel weird.
It's gonna be real weird not writing a triangle in my book because the triangle is how I denoted it was the first of a 1-and-1.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So if they missed that, I knew that they missed the second shot as
I
well.
usually just did a circle and a plus.
Oh, okay.
But the plus is gone.
The plus is gone.
Long live the plus.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting year for folks, keeping up with stats and for fans who are not used to that kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, again, reclassification across the TSSAA. So we've got some new districts, some new regions, some new folks in some new places that'll take some getting used to as well. We had all of that actually with our basketball preview capsules that you could see in last week's Main Street Maury and online at mainstreetmaury.com. If you want to familiarize yourself with the districts for your favorite teams, you can go check that out. Again, got some new coaches on the boys' side. And
Thad Burgess for one.
That's your favorite.
That's my
because
favorite guy.
y'all both got that Alabama thing.
Well, not just Alabama, but I mean Walker County. He was the coach at I guess the biggest high school in the county when I graduated in 2004. He was coaching basketball and baseball back then.
That's a tough double.
Hey, he was probably a better baseball coach than he was basketball coach, and he won 25 games a year in basketball everywhere he's ever been. So this should be an interesting year for the Summit Spartans. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll let you take that up with him. But yeah, looking forward to this boys basketball season. I mean, we've got some teams with some talent, and we got some teams with something to prove.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are a stone's throw from each other because Columbia Academy has some big expectations, and Columbia Central is looking to bounce back.
Yeah, Columbia Central really thought they were going to have a great year last year, brought in a 500-game winner, and it didn't quite go the way they wanted for anybody, coach, players, or anyone else involved.
Yeah. So,
new direction
they pushed the reset button.
For Brandon
Olivier.
Yeah. We'll get to that too.
We will get to that. We're going to get an explanation on that when he pulled a Jarrett
Garantano
on us. Yeah. So, but yeah, excited to talk to him and some of the other coaches from across the area, one of whom is debuting a new gymnasium. And he's excited about it.
And we've got video of that gymnasium that you'll see in this show. So
yeah. So
if you don't get a chance to go down to Laredo, you at least know what the gym looks like.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So stick around. We're going to have all that and more here over the next bit on the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show. Stay with us.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Main Street Maury High School basketball preview show continues with Columbia Academy boys basketball coach Jared Jones. Second year here at CA. What did you learn from year one that you can put into play with this team this time around?
First thing I learned, we're in a tough district, it's a tough league, which is fun. It's exciting. Tough league. So every night you gotta be ready to go, ready to compete. 1 through 8 in our district, they come out ready to play. I got a good group. I'm excited about my group of guys. We got better this summer. Last year we were very talented. Just kind of lacked some maturity things, some team concept things that really just kind of hindered us there at the end to compete with the best teams in the state. Hopefully we've corrected those things. This summer saw a lot of bright spots, saw a lot of guys grow in a lot of different areas. So I'm excited to see what this team looks like when we get on the court.
Was a lot of that going from year one to year two with you think?
Oh, without a doubt. Oh, and this summer, we were tested all summer long. And it's getting a chance, when you step out in the court during the season, it's a lot of pressure games. Mm-hmm. So every game matters, and playing with that intensity, sometimes it's hard to, in those tense situations, it's kind of hard to correct some things. This summer, having a chance to breathe, where you can just grow. The goal is to get better. Every possession isn't as big as it is during the season, so you can fix things, you can talk about things, and we're away from school, we're away from mom and dad, we're kind of on the road. Living together for a few days. Mm-hmm. I think it's just a chance to bond and grow together. It was big for all of us. It was big.
You talk about liking your group. People that have seen this team would say it's an easy group to like.
Oh, it's good kids. Good kids. And they can play a little bit. So hopefully we'll get a few more bodies from football when they get done at some point. Hopefully they're playing for a long time, and when they finish, they finish. But the guys I have right now in the gym, they're working hard every day. They're growing as competitors and teammates, and so looking forward to seeing what we put out there.
How many will you get from football? Do you have a feel for that yet?
2 or 3 at the varsity level, and then another 2 or 3 at the JV level. So, Harrison Brownlee is the receiver who will be with us. Jack Hickerson, who's gotten some minutes there defensively. And then maybe I can squeeze out a quarterback or another receiver or 2 to come join us.
Come do a little recruiting
bring a little more success, bring some more success to us. So we'll see.
Rawson would look pretty good in a basketball uniform, wouldn't he?
He is an athlete. He is an athlete. He and CJ Duro, those are athletes. To add with my guys, Griffin Cooper, he's state champion, great basketball player. Excited about what he's going to do this year. Andre McClellan, my senior guard, who's been here, a lot of experience, a lot of poise. He's been kind of a heartbeat for us this summer and coming into the season. You throw in Jeremy Jackson and Gabe, and then the growth of Jake Ballard is another one. So between Jake, Gabe, Davenport, Jeremy Jackson, those guys, what they bring, I'm looking forward to it.
I had a coach once tell me, if I got a post, a point, and a three-point shooter, I got a shot.
We got a shot.
And you got all 3 of those.
I got a lot of pieces. I got a lot of pieces. And coming off the bench, I got some guys who, once they get some experience, I'm excited about their growth this year. So we stay healthy. We're in a good situation to compete at a high level. We'll see what happens where the chips fall, but I'm excited just to have a group that loves each other, that's fun to be around, and they're going to have a chance to compete at a high level. And that's exciting.
You know, Columbia Academy fans have kind of watched Griff and Andre kind of grow up to some degree. It's a little hard to believe that they're seniors, I guess.
So it's funny, you know, going back watching old film that I've only been here a year, but I feel like they've been here forever. They started naming, you know, guys they play with, and I'm thinking, how the heck? Yeah, I was like, yeah, you play with them? I was like, I don't even know him, but when I see him come back to games, he looks like he's too old to still be in college, you know. So yeah, they've been here for a while, and you know, I'm excited about just, you know, we have good kids. They're senior years. You want them to be able to compete and play meaningful games and big games. And so that's exciting that they're going to have. They stay healthy. They have opportunity to do that.
Griffin signed him with Alabama Huntsville, two-sport guy.
Two-sport
guy. That's pretty ambitious, but just strictly in terms of the basketball court, you know, what are you looking for him this time? How does he take that next step?
So one of the big conversations we had coming into the summer and then coming into this season is just high energy. He's a great athlete, very skilled basketball player. His energy, if he brings that energy every night to compete, play with intensity, play with speed, and compete, to be the athlete, just stay locked in, focus, and just play with just a lot of energy. I don't know how many high school kids we see on a nightly basis that can stop him. And this summer, watching him grow into that and compete at a high level with a lot of energy, he dominated a lot of gyms. So that was fun to watch. So I'm excited to see what he brings. He's added some things to his game. He shoots it well. He's handling the ball outside the perimeter. So there's been a lot of growth for Griffin that I'm excited to see how it translates for us this year in high school.
You know, this team not far removed from a state championship, this program not far removed from a state championship, and it kind of ups the ante around the program when something like that happens, I guess.
Right. When people win one, once you get a taste of it, that's the expectation. Once you get to that place, Coach DeJarnett, and he set a high level, high expectation for success here. And you know, we have a team who we're talented enough to play basketball for a long time. You know, and if we stay healthy, I'm looking forward just to being able to compete with the best teams in the state in our league and seeing where we are. So that's exciting.
This guy knows whereof he speaks. Won a state championship his first year as a boys basketball coach out of West Tennessee. Second year Columbia Academy boys basketball coach Jared Jones joining us here. Stay tuned for more. And welcome back to the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show. I'm Maurice Patton. This is second year Zion Christian boys basketball coach Sam Martin. Coach, thanks for taking a little time with us to talk about your Eagles. From year one to year two, what's been the biggest difference so far?
Yeah, so the biggest difference is just the competitiveness. My first year is kind of like I was pulling teeth to get guys to compete in practice. This year I don't have to do any of that. It's player-led. We're a young group, but we got two seniors that are kind of leading the ship. We just did a freshman versus upperclassman scrimmage, and it was a close game. So the future's bright.
One of your freshmen this year really burst onto the scene as an 8th grader last year. What has Aiden Glenn done from last year to this year to help keep that game close just now, probably?
Yeah, so the biggest thing I see with him, the skill, the talent was always there. He was lacking in maturity and leadership, and that's the biggest growth that I've seen in him this year. He's the loudest guy on the court. He's the hardest worker on the court. Another thing that helped, he played football this year, so he's a little bit tougher. He's finishing through contact a lot more than he did last year and not settling with jump shots. So I'm excited about him this year.
You know, when you're asking a freshman to be a leader, then you're asking some other guys to be led by a freshman, I guess. How is that going?
Yeah, so everybody's buying in. They kind of see that he's the most talented player on the court, arguably in any game that we play. So when he talks, people listen. And I think that if he didn't have such a work ethic, if he didn't beat everybody in here to the gym, if he wasn't the last one to leave, then it would be tougher for him. But they see that work ethic and they respect it.
You mentioned a couple of seniors. Who and who?
So Matthew Terry, he's a homeschool kid that's been with us. This is his 4th year. He's got a chance. He has college aspirations. He's got a couple of schools looking at him right now, so we're hoping him to have a good big year so we can get him to the next level. That's honestly one of my biggest passions as a coach, is getting kids who are also passionate to the next level. So I hope we can do that for him. And then another kid, by far, besides from Aiden, the hardest worker in the gym, Landon Yates. He was kind of our dirty work guy last year. He was our 6th man, and this year we lack size, so he's going to be our 5-man and probably play 32 minutes a lot of games.
He's a football player too, isn't he?
He's not. No, he's actually no.
My fault. I thought I recognized the name from football. Between Matthew and Landon and Aiden, where else will the bulk of your minutes come from?
So we have another freshman, Brady Wolf, who will get a lot of minutes. Another freshman, Miles Fell from Thompson Station Middle School last year. He actually he broke his ankle 2 months ago, so we're hoping to have him back around Christmas. And then Colin Kennedy is a junior that will provide a lot of good minutes for us.
So gonna be young.
Very young. I think 5 of our top 7 are freshmen. It's top 7, top 8. So
Okay. Got to coach them up, huh?
trying.
What are the challenges in practice, in game, that kind of thing that come with being that young?
Yeah. So during our little summer camp series, if you want to call it that, this summer, a lot of the immaturity kind of showed. It's really just attitudes, but getting those in line early in the season, that happened, and I haven't seen really any of that problem since. So really just the ups and downs of the season, right? As we know, we're going to have parts of success in the season. We're going to have parts of not being successful, and it's just making sure that those guys kind of ride that wave the best that they can.
Your background is more as a personal trainer than as a coach. What's that transition been like for you from dealing with one guy, 2 guys to an entire team and a team concept and that kind of thing?
Yeah. So I got into personal training to honestly pay the bills while I try to chase my dream as a player. I realized that it was time to hang the sneakers up, and I immediately got into coaching, and that's where my true passion lies. I love the individual work, because if you can't put the ball in the goal, it's going to be hard to win games. So we still do a lot of skill work. I try to run my practices like a college coach would run it. We do a lot of skill work. We do a lot of competition. But my passion lies in leading 15 men rather than two or three.
Right. Zion Christian boys basketball coach Sam Martin joining us here on the Main Street Maury High School basketball preview show. Stay with us for more. Welcome into the Main Street Maury High School basketball preview show as we are in Summertown with veteran boys basketball coach Wes Long.
Makes me feel old, yeah.
10 years?
10 years, 10 years.
And they said it never worked.
I don't know if it might still not be working. I don't know.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that.
Yes.
Yeah, 12 and 17 last year, not Summertown standards.
It's not, you know, and that's our first time experiencing that in my tenure here. Obviously, after the 27-7 year and then following it up with that, we knew it was going to be a rebuilding year, and we're still having to rebuild a little bit. Such young kids. You know, hopefully we'll get it back to where we're accustomed to being. Opened up with scrimmages last night and got another scrimmage on Friday. So we're getting there. We just got to build some experience this year. You know, I think we're even younger this year than we were last year. The only good thing about it is we got a little bit of experience with our youth. So we'll get there.
One thing I've always kind of said, if you're going to lose young, and you got a lot of young guys, some experience last year.
We did. We was almost playing with a JV bunch last year. Nothing against it was just youth. We had 12 guys, and 7 of those were freshmen. So so this year we got 1 senior, 2 juniors, and 15 freshmen and sophomores again. So we took our lumps last year, and I still think there's going to be some growing pains this year. But we're going to get there. I feel comfortable with the pieces that we have. It's just getting them in the right spots and seeing how well we play with that.
Well, one of those pieces, as long as there is a Summertown High School, there's going to be a Burleson.
Right.
And Grayson, as pieces go, isn't a bad one to have.
He's a big piece, and we got another one in Kurt, too. Those are got 6'4", 6'5" inside, and I think it's comforting to know that when we need a basket, we've got both of those guys. They're playing huge roles for us, and those are our 2 juniors this year. Losing Cole Campbell, our golfer, out for the season is going to hurt, but that's where some of those young guys are going to have to step up. And honestly, you hate to put more on him, but it's a bigger role that Grayson's going to have to play as well, as far as handling the ball and doing stuff like that.
Not bad for a second sport.
Right. So we got a lot of guys that are successful off the basketball court. So hopefully that success in those sports really carry over onto the hardwood.
I was going to ask you, how does that, and that's always kind of been the case around here,
It
but
is.
how does that?
Well, I think there's an expectation. It's like you said, the Summertown standard, and that's in every sport, whether, it's girls athletics, boys athletics. They expect to win, and they put the work in no matter what they do. So I think that carries over, and that breeds the next group of guys, these freshmen, sophomores, into the expectations that they have as well.
Well, and that's not unusual for you guys to have guys who know how to win,
Right.
And knowing how to win when you're young,
Right.
And they've won from the time they were 5, 6, 7 years old. They know what it takes to get a W, and even with youth, that's important.
It is, and I think that's what makes those years like last year a little more disappointing, frustrating. It's because they don't want that either,
Sure.
and we're not accustomed to that. It's just the lack of depth. We had 12 guys on the whole team, that's counting freshmen and or JV and varsity. So this year we've got a little bit more depth. We've got some bigger classes coming up. So it's part of being in a small school. But our numbers are getting back up, and I feel comfortable about the future of Summertown basketball.
Wes, when you talk about the Summertown standard and what Summertown has done, do other teams kind of smell blood a little bit when you're in a situation like you were in last year?
I think so. It was a lot easier to schedule this year for sure, and I hate to say that, but they're trying to catch us, in
And you
down
kinda have
years,
to.
and but it's part of it, and we beat some teams we weren't supposed to beat, and we've lost to some teams that we weren't supposed to lose to, and that's part of it. But in this area, you got the Mount Pleasant, you got the Loretta's, you got Lawrence counties. We've got some really deep rivalries here, and I don't think we're going to take our shot when we can, and they're going to take their shot when they can. So it's just part of it.
It's not easy being a lot of different teams Super Bowl, as has been the talking points for
in
the
other
last
sports,
fall.
yeah.
But when you guys have to deal with that pressure, it's hard to do when you've got young kids. So how do you force them to do that?
I don't think we really look at it as pressure. It's what makes it fun. It's what makes the atmosphere here fun. I mean, you guys know, y'all been at some of the biggest games in this place, and I think that's what makes kids want to put in the work. That's what makes kids want to come here and play. Is the atmosphere that the fans, the student section creates, and the rivalries here. It's always going to be, it's always going to be a really good atmosphere. So I don't know that I would say pressure, but I think that they want to succeed, and they want to carry that torch year in and year out. So hopefully this year, I think we'll be better this year, and I think next year we'll have a really good chance to get back to where we're supposed to be.
Pressure is a privilege, and I will tell you, if you've not been to a game in this building, you owe it to yourself if you're a basketball fan to come down here. This is Summertown Boys Basketball Coach Wes Long joining us on the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show. We'll have more after this. Good to go.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Hey, welcome back to the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show. I'm Maurice Patton. This is first-year Lawrence County boys basketball coach Bryce Clift. Coach, you have been here as an assistant under the legendary Shane Clark.
For sure.
And also with Joseph Wilson prior to his departure. What do you take from those two guys into your initial head coaching gig?
Well, the good thing for me is those two coaches are coaches that have coached for years, have all kinds of experience, and learning from them, I feel like makes up for the lack of my experience going into this year one. You talking about two way different coaches, but two very successful coaches, where Coach Clark would walk the ball to the floor, try to pick you apart in his sets on offense, and where Coach Wilson just a running gun offense, and both fit the teams of the time that they were here, but just one, seeing how they approach the game in two vastly different ways and allowing myself to go in and say what I like from this coach, and kind of forming my own opinion of how I want things to go. It's been very beneficial for me.
So what will the 23-24 Wildcats look like then in light of those two different styles that fans have seen here over the last few years?
Right. Well, we're very senior heavy. We got a bunch of, or junior and senior heavy. We got a bunch of older guys coming back from last year. We got some big guys that I look forward to us taking advantage of that on defense. But we're going to do, the good thing about this group is that they have a wide variety of skills. So we can do a lot of different things any given night. That way we're not very one-dimensional. There'll be some nights that we get up and down the floor and pressure and run and gun, but there's also going to be nights that we fall back into a zone and play a more offensive game. We got a lot of scorers, and we got guys, and that's the beauty of it, is that we got guys that can score in transition. We got guys that we can stop it, run an offense. So it's going to be fun because it's going to be different every night. I think we're going to be hard to plan for just because we got a lot of different things that we can give.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. That's going to make you guys a tough scout from night to night, I would imagine.
It is, and the best thing about us is that we got great kids, but we also have very good scorers. I mean, we got 4 or 5 guys that can go out on a night and give you 20, and it's hard to plan for 4 or 5 guys. I mean, you can go over a scouting report, and you could watch our last game. So say we're playing Rogers first night of the season. We may have a kid that scores 20, but the next night, that kid may score very few and somebody else scores 20. I got 4 or 5 guys that are true scorers that it's going to be hard to plan for just because we got so much versatility, and it may be a different guy every night.
Tell me about those guys.
Well, our first few, we got a few seniors that are going to be key contributors this year. TJ Gobble, who's a 6'6" center, but in our scrimmage the other day, I think he hit 7 threes. So it's going to be a tough matchup. I'm telling you, if we can get him to reach his full potential this year, he's going to be tough for anybody. And then we got a couple more seniors, Logan Boswell and Blake Long, who Logan is by far the hardest working kid I've ever coached, assistant or head coach. Every morning he started this thing where I open the gym at 7, and he shoots on the gun, and he's got younger guys coming in with him. He's got other varsity players. He started that, so he's a hard worker. And in the past few years, Logan has been a great facilitator for her. He's a 6'3" point guard. I mean, he's going to be our point guard this year. And he's always been a facilitator, but he has worked so hard on his game shooting that he's going to be a facilitator that can also score. So, and then another one is Blake Long, who was the best sixth man in Middle Tennessee last year. Last year we had 6 guys when our run and throughout the tournament stuff. We had 6 guys that deserve to start, and that's tough. But Blake Long accepted that role last year, and he's going to be ready to be a starter and a key contributor this year. But I mean, Blake Long scored 20 points off the bench several times last year. And then finally, we have a junior that, I mean, is just one of the most athletic kids we got. He's good at everything. Alex Bedford, star baseball player, star basketball player, who can dunk the basketball in transition, who can shoot it from deep. Just an all-around skilled guy. And we got guys that can just score. We got guys that can do a little bit of everything. We got guys that are better defensive players. We are a very versatile team, and I look forward to that being a key to our success.
In this newly formed District 8-3A, how do you like where y'all sit in that?
Well, I think every night we're going to be ready to compete, but that's exactly what you got to do every night. I told on our X Sports Network show, I told them the other night that I can remember when I was in high school, you would have a game that, hey, we're going to win that game. There ain't any of those in this district. You're going to have to show up and play every single night or you're going to get beat. And it don't matter how talented you are. I mean, adding Murfreesboro Central Magnet, we added them, and we played them last year in the Christmas tournament, and they had like 6'5" coming off the bench. I mean, they have a little lefty guard, and I don't know if y'all have seen any of them. They have a lefty guard that can play. I mean, going to be one of the best players in the district. So it's fun knowing that every night you got to compete, but it's tough. I mean, we got a lot of expectations for us this year. We got a lot of scores coming back. There's a lot of people that have high expectations, but I mean, you don't show up to play, you're going to get beat. It don't matter what expectations are.
No room for error for first-year Lawrence County boys basketball coach Bryce Clift, but it's going to be fun.
I can't wait.
It. Absolutely. We'll be back with more after this. Hey, welcome back to the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show. We are visiting with Spring Hill boys basketball coach Jimmy Young in his 27th year. Is that right?
27 years head
27?
coach. Yeah, 28th year here. 27 years head coach.
Goodness gracious. I mean, did you ever think when you got here that?
Well, all I knew is that Spring Hill High School is a great place to work. I've worked for some great administrators, and they let me coach basketball. They're not got their hands on, coach, you need to do this, coach, you need to do that. They just coach your program, get after it.
Something to be said for that.
That's right. Without a doubt.
There's definitely something to be said for that, because it doesn't work that way everywhere.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't. But
yeah.
We've had a great group of kids. High school basketball is a roller coaster. You're going to be as good as the players that you get, no matter how good a coach you are. And sometimes you get really good players. Sometimes you don't. Just being honest. Just the way it works.
How many second-generation kids have you had?
Well, I've had
kids you've coached.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've had 2, 3, maybe something like that. In my time here, I've had 2 grandsons play for me. One's playing for me now. So there's been quite a few kids who have brought their kids back here to play. So it's been interesting.
I would imagine, Coach, when you put it that way, kids that have brought their kids back to play, because again, you don't necessarily see that everywhere.
No, you
either.
don't. No, you don't. And sometimes they move away and come back, but it has been nice to reconnect with some of the former players, and it's a pretty good feeling.
When they trust you with their kids.
Yes. And they definitely will tell them what for. Coach will get after you. He'll tell you when you do good. He'll tell you when you do bad, but he'll get after you. And some of my former players, Coach, you're getting soft now. I said, no, I'm just getting wiser.
What's it looking like this year?
Well, honestly, Maurice, we are going to be young and inexperienced. We're going to rely on 1 senior. Well, our roster is a makeup of 1 senior, 3 juniors, 9 sophomores, and 10 freshmen. So freshmen and sophomores are going to see an extended period of time. So we're going to be relatively young or really young and inexperienced.
Who's the one senior?
Keelan Jackson.
Okay. Okay. So there is no Kayshawn Brashear on the roster then, huh?
Well, or Katavius Simmons or any of those guys that played last year. It was a good group of seniors, and that they did a pretty good job.
Okay. When you are that young, how much tougher does that make it just from a coaching standpoint as far as what your expectations are? They don't know you, you don't know them, they don't know the competition, they don't necessarily know the high school game specifically. I mean, it kind of slows a lot of things down, doesn't it?
Well, as a coach, your expectations don't change. They stay the same, but you have to exhibit a little bit more patience, especially when you're that young. You know, you still want to push your guys, you still want them to execute, but it's harder for them, the freshmen and sophomores coming into a program, to pick up. Whereas those seniors last year, they already knew because they were in the program, so they already knew what was going on. But, you know, I still expect them to compete. That's what I did last year. You know, I'm not saying we're going to win. I'm not saying we're going to lose, but I expect you to compete. And I think those expectations stay the same with me.
Coming from Class 3A to Class 4A, in a district with Columbia Central for the first time, in a region with the Williamson County schools, you know, how do you see the level of competition relative to what you guys have faced?
Well, you know, we've been in the Williamson County district before, so we know what they're going to bring. We played Columbia for the last 10, 15 years or so we know what they're going to bring. And everybody else, I always look at teams. I don't care how good you are or how bad you are. I know if we don't play to the best of our ability, it does not matter what's going to happen because we're not going to be able to compete. So we've got to do a better job of competing. If that does, everything else takes care of itself, and regardless of how good those teams are.
Besides Keelan, who are some other kids that you're going to be looking for, you know, production out of, contributions, leadership, that kind of thing?
Good question. all I'm going to say, because like I said, they're all relatively young. You know, a lot of those kids, the sophomores played JV last year. So it's just everything's wide open. So it's for somebody to step up. And, you know, you want somebody to be a leader on their own. You don't want to be prodding, hey, man, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to be the leader. No. If somebody steps forward, then that'll be fine.
It's a work in progress, but it's probably nothing Jimmy Young hasn't seen before over 27 seasons here at Spring Hill. So catch up with the Raiders this year. We'll have more in a minute.
That's right. Go Raiders.
Hey, welcome back to the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show as we are at Summit with first-year boys coach Thad Burgess. Varied background here for Coach Burgess. He's been in Georgia, he's been in Alabama, making his Tennessee debut with the Spartans here. Coach, appreciate you taking some time with us.
What an exciting time. It's been a wild and crazy ride, but in ball and bandy country, so I'm adjusting a little bit to all that. Yeah.
I can imagine. You were just saying off the air, you and Yao kind of have some connections.
Way back, we just found that out just a minute ago.
Who knew, right?
World. Yeah.
Coach, as you come in here, what have you found? You know, first of all, from a talent standpoint, what are you taking over? And then from what you're going to be competing with?
Yeah, you know, all this happened so late. It was like the last day of school. We had our tryouts, and so at that point, I knew that I had to get some positive vibes. And so, you know, I was trying to move. I was making the move and making the cross-state move and so forth. So what we've tried to do, and I was thinking about the other night, we're just trying to build some chemistry in an environment that they're feeling good about things. We're not necessarily worried about what we're going to run and who's going to do this and that, but just getting to know each other, getting to like each other, getting to feel how I am. I'm learning the kids. I know what the challenge is fixing to happen, man. I know the Williamson County district we're going to be in is going to be really a challenge. And you know, we're kind of starting. I feel like we're starting from the ground floor. We're trying to do everything the right way, and got some kids. We got some kids coming back, and we got a couple involved in football right now. But they'll join us. But we're just trying to understand that where we are. We understand that. I think that's important, and we're excited where we're heading. We think we've got a chance to make some great things here at Summit. What a beautiful place to be, and of course, the orange and blue even makes it better with all that Auburn feel. Yeah.
So at least you're a little bit at home anyway.
Yeah, I do. I feel every time I put this orange and blue on, I feel I'm right at home. Yes, sir.
You talk about coming into Williamson County and the competitive nature of this area, and coming from out of state. Is that something that you can fully grasp until you're in it, do you think?
Well, I actually, in the last about 4 years, I've kind of had my eye on this place. I came over and did some coaches clinics. I'd come every year and come around Nashville, go to Belmont and some other places just watching, come to the SEC tournament. And I kind of was falling in love with it. And then as I did that, I started keeping up with some of the teams. Of course, Andy's had a great run here lately, and that kind of caught my energies up a little bit. And then as I got kind of a little closer, wanted to come this way the last couple of years, I kind of my juice started flowing, and so I knew kind of what I was coming into. This would be the place in my mind that you want to be if you want to be a high school coach in Tennessee. I really believe that, and I feel very fortunate every day I come to school saying, "Wow, I'm an older guy that getting to come in a great environment and great situation. What an unbelievable community to live in." And we're just jumping in, and boy, Maurice, I'm learning, guys. I'm learning every second, and I feel like I've just started. I feel like it's my first year in coaching, and that that's kind of exciting. Sometimes we need
that'll get you a little.
Yeah, it gets your juices flowing. And I remember my daughters. I got 4 girls, and they said, "Daddy, that's kind of you. It's been your whole life." So we're gonna give everything we got, and our kids have bought in. We'll find out more when we get out there and start playing against some other teams. But to go in some of these gyms that we're going to go into, the coaches, the environment, walking the kids in the schools, they seem to be getting excited about it. We're trying to bring some new energy and promote it, and we just want to do it the right way. And Summit deserves to have a great basketball program, and that's my goal, and that's what these kids are going to try to do.
One of the things that I've heard from different coaches, not from your predecessor, even before him,
yes, sir,
is that there's one thing about Summit kids is they are blue collar, they work hard, and they're not afraid to get in the gym and do work. So what have you seen that?
Yeah, they don't. Nobody seems to really. The teams that we've talked. We know Indy made that run last year, and they feel confident. We've had our struggles in the past, but we're not looking back at that. But they're ready to go. I mean, there's a lot of energy. Our football team's going to the second round, and we had a great volleyball, did well. Our programs have done well here, and there's no reason. Won a state football championship a couple years ago, so there's no reason that the basketball can't go the same direction. So I think our kids feel that, and they want that. They're ready. They're ready to get the basketball. And I know Coach Merle's will come here in a minute with the girls program. We feel like we both are coming in situations that we can build and grow on something.
As you have gone through your off-season workouts and your preseason workouts, who is sticking out to you as folks that you feel like are going to kind of lead this team?
Right now, I've got a lot of soft leaders. They don't talk. They're not very vocal, and I'm kind of a vocal guy. So I'm trying to bring some of that out with them. They kind of who they are. The thing I can remember when I first got here, there was hardly any communication amongst our kids. They came in, they practiced, they went to the dressing room, they got in their car, they went home. There was no interaction between them. So what we've tried to do is just build that. It's kind of neat to kind of see them, mingle with each other and chat and talk and feel. So I'm hoping a leader comes from that bunch. We've got. I've got a couple of kids that didn't finish out the year last year. They're going to join us. We're opening this up, give everybody a chance and seeing what's going on. We got some guys returning. We got several juniors that played a lot of minutes last year. So I really individually I couldn't tell you that right now. We're gonna give everybody a chance, and we're going to demand a lot from them and see where we go from that.
There we go. High energy here at Summit with first-year boys basketball coach Thad Burgess. We'll have more here on the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show after this.
Thank y'all. All right.
Hey, welcome back to the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show. We are visiting now with Santa Fe boys basketball coach Brad Slaughter and coach, construction outside, construction inside, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How are things coming this time?
We're working hard. You know, it's we're returning everybody but one, so we got most of our system in, but. This time of season, you know, it's all about getting ready to compete and not compete against each other every day. So we're ready to get going.
Yeah, I guess after you've been going as long as you have against each other, you're ready to see somebody else.
So, yeah, we're getting the itch. So Tuesday night.
Returning all but one.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be comforting for a coach. I mean, you know everybody. Everybody knows you. That you know the expectations. You know what they're about for the most part. How much easier does that make it to coach?
I mean, it definitely helps. And I've been with this group since middle school as well. You know, so we've been focused on. You know, last year our core group was really sophomores and juniors, and now it's juniors and seniors. So. We don't have the young excuse anymore. We're just trying to be a more mature team. Everybody knows the system, and we just got to be good at the little things.
Is it easier to, focus on the little things when you don't have to worry about the big picture?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So we, it's not putting in plays. You know, a lot of times up past seasons, we've been just trying to do our plays. We were able to. In the first week, everybody pretty much knew them. Just knock some rust off on them, and focus on little things: defensive positioning, boxing out, rebounding, and playing good team ball.
It's tough to talk for very long about Santa Fe boys basketball without talking about Alden Slaughter. Averaged almost 30 points a game for you guys last year.
Yeah.
What has he done from the end of last year to the start of this year to improve his game?
I think that's what's impressive about him is that he makes some kind of jump each year. And, this year it's been an athletic jump more than any, I'd say. He's grew a few inches. Spent all summer working out with D1 training in Spring Hill. They did a lot of good things for him. I think he gained 6 inches of vertical over the summer. So, he's a little quicker, a little stronger, a little faster, and just trying to be more mature. I think he's developing. We know he can score. He knows he can score, but it's about making the right decisions now. Getting other people involved and making the guys around him better.
That was one thing that Andy did really well.
Yeah.
And so who are some of the guys that have to step up to take that load off of Alden?
Yeah. So I mean, Macon Atkinson, obviously. I mean, he's always been good, but I think. People will see a different version of him this year as well. He's a guy we expect a lot of. He can certainly take a load off, and I think there will be games he scores as many or more points as Alden, and he's fully capable. Andrew Graves, he's really developing. We need him. A lot of teams like to focus on Alden and Macon, and we feel like he's one of several guys, honestly, that can make them pay. And we got a freshman, Jack Slaughter, that's with us now too. That's a good little freshman, good shooter from outside that can add another offensive, advantage for us. And then, but for us, it's really just we're about defense, and we're small. So what we did lose last year was our only post player. So, we're starting 5 guards. My point guard and my shooting guard are my only 2 over 6 foot. So we're a small team, but scrappy. So we got to all gang rebound and all defend.
We were talking off air. You guys hosted a sectional 2 years ago, and once you host one of those, you want to certainly get to another one. Y'all got knocked out in the region semis last year. What kind of motivator was that for this team?
Big, and I think probably the worst game of Alden's career in the region, the first round that we lost in. So it obviously fueled him from that perspective, but it fueled the whole team. We got together pretty much immediately and said, let's be better. And I think identity is a big part of it. We know we're not a team that's just going to come out and overwhelm anybody and beat them. That's not who we are. We don't have a lot of 6'5" athletes out there. We gotta outwork everybody every night, and I think being younger and being less mature last year, that we just honestly lost mental focus in that game. So where we got to be better is just bringing it every night and outworking them every night.
But when you know that that's your makeup,
Yeah.
it's a little easier to embrace it, I would guess.
Yeah, it is. And we're trying to temper it. Every year we typically set goals this time. And last year we set a goal early district championship. I haven't said one. And I asked the guys the other night what the goal was without me even telling them. And they said, to get back to that sectional game. And I'm like, well, let's hold up. Let's take it one step at a time. And, obviously that's where we want to be. But we really just got to take it one game at a time and try to get better all season, because I think there's 5, maybe 6 teams in our region that could win it all. So it's a really balanced region, and we need to just focus on getting better.
Should be fun. I'm
Yeah.
excited about it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Brad Slaughter, boys basketball coach here at Santa Fe. We'll have more after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Hey, welcome back to the Main Street Maury High School basketball preview show. You know us. You should know him. Independence boys basketball coach Mark Wilkins. You're number 3?
Yes, sir.
You're number 2. All he did was take them to the Class 4A state finals. So
That seems good. Is that good? Seems good.
It's fun.
So what do you do for an encore?
Well, to be fair, they took me. I was just along for the ride, but it was a lot of fun. It was a whirlwind. Looking back at it, it's always one of those things that you hope to get there. Then you get to the state tournament, and you think, let's go try to win it. And we nearly did. And so I was so proud of our guys. It was so much fun. But we're ready to kind of start over again. And it took us a little bit to kind of get there. It took me a little bit, but now how fun it is to work with these group of guys again and see what we can do again, see how far we can go. It's not going to be easy, but we're excited for the task.
Now, what is the balance between taking the confidence out of going on a run like that, getting to the glass house, playing for a state championship,
right,
and You didn't do any of that. That was a different
Yeah.
group. You
Yeah.
guys were 0-0.
No, it's a fine line, because it wouldn't do us any good to every day think we got to go back and just win one game at the end of the year. That would take all the joy out of what we get to do if that's the only thing we talk about all day long. Today we're just trying to get better at just what we're doing practice-wise. And then eventually we have some people on our schedule that we want to beat again, and just trying to enjoy every step along the way, knowing that we have a big target on our back, and because people want to, be where we were at last year without a doubt. So we're embracing what happened last year. We're trying to do it again this year. We're also not every single day just going to be so worked up and worried, about something we can't control until March.
There you go. And obviously it's a positive that you have a lot of leaders coming back, particularly Jet Montgomery. That certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But, talk about some of the guys that you have that you expect to maybe make an impact that were role players last year that will be impact players this year.
No, that's a great question. Jet and Tyler, people jump off the page usually, their stats and their impact. And, but we have a lot of guys last year that were just playing a role, if you will, for our team that now we're expecting more from, with Corbin Walling and Braden Buck being the top of those. They started, kind of rotated that fifth position a lot, both just really embracing their role while trying to stretch it and do some new things this preseason. Houston Hicks played some minutes down the stretch and kind of a backup to Matt Witt. Now he's the guy. We're going to make him, be a focal point, I think, in our offense, and he's got some skills we're excited about. And then Bradley Stewart is a dynamic guard that, we didn't call on him a lot last year, but he is going to be a big part of what we're doing this year. So thankfully we have a lot of guys that can step up and make a shot, and makes my life a lot easier.
You talk about having a target on your back. As you guys, with reclassification, you're in a different district,
right?
Different region. You're going to see different folks, but how does that impact your road, do you think?
It's so difficult. I mean, I think we have a good team. I'd be dumb not to think that, but I also know that we have a good, very good district. And when we have Williamson County teams squaring off, the atmosphere, everything just is unbelievable. And sometimes when whether you're the underdog or you're the favorite or whatever it may be, it just kind of all goes out the window when those teams play. And so we're excited about that, but we also know that it's a tough road. We have a great region that we realign with, but then I believe I'm not wrong, Hillsboro's in our sub-state. So, there's some really good teams that are still in our path. So we know that we can be successful, but we've got a tough task ahead of us just because of who we have in our way.
Should be a lot of fun to watch. I don't know that I've ever been a part of an atmosphere quite like Green Hill last year in that sub-state. It was absolutely insane. And so, I hope that we can recreate that a couple of times this year, because it was a lot of fun, and you guys have you got a great season ahead of you, and we appreciate you getting with us and telling us about it. We're looking forward to more.
We're excited too. Thank you guys for all your coverage.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have more when we come back. Welcome back to the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Chris Yao. And the man in the middle is Loretto boys basketball coach Greg Tipps here in the Taj Mahal.
It is. Went from the barn to the Taj Mahal.
Man, this, I'd love to see the look on opposing teams, opposing coaches' faces, some more than others. When they walk in here.
I'm interested in that as well.
Yeah. I mean, they said you guys were getting a new gym, but
they didn't say you were getting
a new gym.
This isn't a gym at this point. This feels like
it's like a mini arena.
An arena.
It is. The pictures that people see on social media when they come in here, it's like, man, it doesn't do it justice. From the color of the court to the size of it, the chair backs. When we add the video boards, next week, it's all just come into place. It's beyond what I thought. If I would have known we were getting this, I wouldn't have been quite so sad to leave the barn. That stung a little bit just because of the memories and the history, and it helped us win a lot of ball games. But for this right here, if you're not excited about this, I don't know what would excite you.
People won't know how to act. I mean, fans won't know how to act. I mean, you don't have to get here early to make sure you got a seat and make sure you're sitting somewhere where you can see and that kind of thing.
The other benefit of this is the parking. It was all gravel. We've gone up in parking spaces. You'd have to walk through the mud holes and all that stuff. We've got a lot of parking just right here. the space is different. You know, we lost a lot of fans that didn't want to come into that. Didn't know if you'd have a seat. You know, there were some games that, you know, it was packed by 5:30.
And it was hot.
And it was
and
hot.
it was just so much.
Yep, it was a lot. And we loved it, but not everybody did, you know. And,
well, you didn't have to worry about a place to sit.
I had one, you know. A lot of people wanted me to leave from that seat. But anyways, but it was fun. And we loved that. We loved that place. But and we'll still get to practice in it. PE will take place, so it's not like we're tearing it down. And this place right here, it's just it's different. And I think our community, how supportive they've been and how excited they are is it makes it worth it as well.
Here's the problem: you got all this now. You got to win.
Yeah, right.
There's some pressure that goes with that.
Or
so,
sitting up there
yeah, exactly. You'll be having to find a seat on the other side.
Right.
So you will not have a seat in.
Right.
that great philosopher Christopher Wallace.
Yeah, more money, more problems.
Yes.
So tell us about this team and how you expect them to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I have half of my team playing football. Literally, we got 16 players. 8 of them are playing on the football team and doing a great job. We're proud of those guys. Got 8 that we've got here, and several of those will play a role. So it's yet to be determined. We have everybody back. So that lends itself. We got 100% scoring, 100% rebounding. All of them are back. They were just freshmen and sophomores. So those 14, 15-year-olds have turned 15, 16. Those 15, 16s have turned 16, 17. This time last year, I think we had 1 kid driving. Now the majority of them are. And a lot of familiar faces, but I don't think their bodies are going to be familiar to people. We've got guys that have gained, 3-4 inches. We've got guys, majority of the guys have gained a minimum of 10 pounds, some up to 20. So they've changed their bodies. And then we get to welcome back, we'll have 1 senior on the team, and Clint Seymour, who was a 2-year starter, and he stars, on the baseball and football field. And he probably would have been a 1,000-point scorer here. We welcome him back. So we've added some depth. Our younger guys that may not have had a huge role last year have really started to get better. So it's a team, talent-wise, that when I talk about their talent and some of the intangibles they have, I kind of get the same smile on my face that I get when I walk into here. But that don't translate to wins, and we got to forget about this gym a little bit and forget about all the stuff we've got going with this stuff to make sure we know how to defend, rebound, and play together and take some good shots. If that all falls into place and we get lucky with the health, then we have a chance to put a product on the floor that'll make this just more exciting than just the gym we're in.
Greg, you talk about having 8 on the football team, and for a class 2A class,
Roman of 450 basically.
You kind of have to share athletes, but at the same time, there are benefits, I would imagine, to having those multi-sport guys who are experiencing different things in different arenas other than just your sport.
Yep, we don't have soft kids. They go from basketball to baseball to football, and they do it all. They'll leave my basketball practice in January. The baseball guys are going to the facility to throw. They do that. I have football guys right now. I had a pretty prominent player on the football team in here last night shooting the basketball. They know how to put everything into the sport that they're in, and also get ready for that next sport. We have tough kids. If we're soft, if we play soft, it's my fault because they're not built that way. And so that's fun. They're used to competing in different avenues. My freshmen and sophomores that played last year, we won 19, had a big injury there towards the end of the year that when we lost the close region game, but they didn't play. Physically, we kind of looked like freshmen and sophomores in spots. They didn't play like freshmen and sophomores. My young guys that are sophomores still, they're playing on the football field, quarterback and wide receiver. Those guys are sophomores, but they've been through the gauntlet as far as, having hit with 2 strikes in a big moment. They're having a big 3rd down, a big 4th down, and they carry that over. Whereas those guys are maybe playing so well also on the football field as sophomores because they were in big moments last year playing 30 minutes a game. So they've got a lot of experiences in different arenas other than just the basketball. And I think it's helped their athletic ability. I think it's helped them in the weight room. I've got dudes on my team that will come back from a football game and they're at the weight room after the game we have some guys that are built a little bit different. That don't necessarily win you ball games, but it does put a lot of trust from me to them, and in some situations, some admiration with them. So that's a neat feeling. I've got some guys that want to win, they want to compete. To this point, hunger and none of that stuff has ever been an issue with this group. I coached them in 7th and 8th grade middle school. They played in some big ball games there, state runner-up and a state championship with that group. So it's a group that's won a lot of ball games. I'm comfortable with them, but every year is different. And we got to make sure we're doing what we need to do to be able to win ball games this year.
You know, when you talk about them being in those big moments, those 2 strikes, those 3rd downs, that kind of thing, makes you a little more comfortable when they're on the free throw line or they're having to try to inbound against press or that kind of thing, right?
It does. They have confidence within themselves. They've been in the huddle. They've been in the dugout. They've been on the basketball court. This group of guys have gone from one sport to the other since they were in 3rd grade. You know, and watching them grow and stuff, they have trust with each other. These guys aren't afraid to challenge each other either. They'll challenge each other. We've had some good players in the past that, you know, they would say something, but they won't cut them a little bit. These guys ain't afraid to cut each other a little bit and get after each other. And I think that's because they have such a trust with each other. They're with each other year round. They're maybe not being basketball year round, but they're with each other year round. And then besides that, we've got some maturity on this team. The academic success that the majority of these guys that they have, they'll walk the hallways, and we have the majority of our basketball team don't walk it like a high school student. They're walking through it like it's a college age kid, where they're not just cutting up, they're not just doing this and that. They'll smile at you, they're talking to you, they're talking to their classmates, but they walk the hallways with a focus. It's fun to watch them in the hallways. So it's a special group. Will we have a special season? I don't know. Could we have a disappointing season? We could, but they're a special group of guys, and I'd go to battle with them anywhere, anytime.
You know, specifically, Greg, Mason Tidwell,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he had to step in mid-season on the football field with Carter Daniels' season-ending knee injury. You weren't necessarily surprised to see the success that he's had at quarterback.
I would have been shocked if he didn't. I mean, I was talking to his dad in the end zone before his first start, in a pretty big ball game against Lewis County, and his dad was telling me Mason came home on that Thursday night and said, "All the teachers are telling me good luck, it'll be okay," and he said, "I know it'll be okay. They're acting like I'm a scrub," you know. he knew he was going to step in, but that's a family thing. I mean, he's built a little different. He didn't look like a freshman last year. I mean, he's playing last year as a freshman, 6'3", 200. He looks like a man. But he's got Blake Tidwell as a first cousin. Blake Tidwell's, pitching the Mest organization. He was a certified dude now. He was a dude. And he comes home last year and he's watching us play at Lawrence County. And, I could never be as hard on Mason as what Blake Tidwell is with Mason. You embarrassed yourself. We're a Tidwell. We don't do this stuff. And Mason just has to take it. That's built. Mason's been that way since I first remember him at little kids camp. Mason's done a great job, and those are big shoes to fill. Carter Daniel was had a tremendous career, and we all hated to see that happen. He was having a tremendous year, but most people don't have backup quarterbacks like Mason Tidwell. And Carter knew Mason was going to be. They weren't going to miss much of a beat there.
How do you feel like that team success that football has had to this point, and hopefully continues to have, how does that bleed over into basketball? I
don't know. We haven't, not a knock on the football team, but since I've been here, we haven't had this type of success. It's been a while. It's been since the early 90s since we've had this much success. I know this. It's awesome. It's awesome to watch for our community. There's a lot of people. We're in the South. A lot of people love football. A lot of people love football in this community. I know that the success of the baseball program has helped us. I know the success of our program has helped the baseball.
Your kids know how to win.
They know how to win, and they've been doing it at an early age. And so, when Coach Daniel got here, they immediately started becoming relevant. They were getting to the playoffs. But I told him, I said, "Coach, you're trying to win ball games right now. That when I saw them play youth baseball in Dixie Youth, you were trying to win a lot of ball games. There was a few exceptions, but you're trying to win ball games that were batting 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th in the batting order. Your guys that are batting 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, they're on the baseball field and they're on this basketball court. Well, now he's got guys out there that when they were growing up playing youth baseball, they They were your leadoff hitters, second through fourth, fifth, sixth, and now he's got the guys that aren't on my bench. They're out here playing. So he's that caliber of athlete. He's done a tremendous job of getting those athletes
Recruiting
out.
the hallways.
Yeah, and he didn't. He did, and a lot of these guys though grew up. Mason's dad and a lot of other people in the community have had these kids from a long time, so they're used to going one to the other, and he's done a great job of keeping that interest in football up, and it's great for our community, it's great for our kids, and we're all excited about it.
Come on down to Loretta, check out a ball game, check out the gym, check out the teams.
Maybe December 1st. Maybe not.
Maybe December 1st. They may have a scheduling conflict. So check in.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg Tips, appreciate your time here on the Main Street Maury High School
Coach,
Basketball Preview Show. We'll have more when we come back. All right. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming down here.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Main Street Maury High School Basketball Preview Show. We are at Culleoka visiting with boys basketball coach Mike Lovett. Mike, how many years is this for you? 6?
This is year 7.
7?
Yeah. I got this job when I was 23, so it was definitely a blessing to be here at Culleoka as soon as fresh out of college, and it sort of shocked me. They gave it to a 23-year-old, but it sort of, I guess, worked out in my favor. So
feel like you've grown into it?
Yeah, I think I have. I'm becoming more comfortable with it. So.
I'm seeing some gray hairs.
Oh,
too,
absolutely.
Man.
This is what the sport will do to you. So
I was wondering now if that was basketball or otherwise.
I would definitely say it's probably basketball, 100%.
What do you think about what you've got to work with?
So we got 3 starters back from last year. We have Beckham Faulkner, Eli Hardison, and Dalton Owens. Those will be the 3 starters that we will get back. And we have 2 guys that got a lot of playing time. They came off the bench for us. And then definitely in my sophomore bunch, we got some size that we're going to throw out there and just sort of see what they can do. And we're hoping that they grow as the season progresses to give us a chance on the back half. So.
Physically as much as anything.
Growing is going to be
that's the biggest thing. We got about 9 guys that starting off early we're going to throw into the rotation and just see what they can do. So
well, you mentioned Beckham and Eli, and they're both guards, and you're going to kind of be guard oriented, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the way we're going to do it early on is 2 of my better guards, which probably should be starting for me, is actually going to come off the bench because I'm hoping to get some of those big men out there to get some experience early, right? And then if I have to play in district with just those 5 guys, I will. But I'm hoping that the big guys, my younger guys, will step up for me this year. So
you're going to have some help from some youth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
At the same time, like you said, Beckham and Eli and Dalton played a lot for you last year, started for you last year. That experience that they bring back, how important do you anticipate
100%. I mean, getting back a starting point guard with Beckham is awesome for us and controlling the offense. And Eli and Dalton, both of them have grown a lot. So they've physically, just their IQ in the gym has gotten better, and they bring a lot of offensive firepower that we're hoping that's going to lead the way for us this year. So
and so tell us a little bit about what we can expect, because a couple of years ago, obviously you had a great group, and it was kind of a high flying offense, but with guys like this and a young team, how do you focus on playing what the style of ball that you want to play?
Yeah, so honestly, my most experienced guys are my smaller guards.
Right.
And so this summer we went into it to where those guys would start for us, and we were pressing teams and just getting up shots, and I really thought that we were going to struggle offensively as far as like rebounding and defensively getting those rebounds as well. But they're quick little guards, and so if you're not careful, they're then scooting around you and getting rebounds, and so I truly think that we are going to push that as much as possible, and I'm hoping that these bigger guys, they sort of transition into quicker, bigger guys to where we are now still pressing teams, getting up tons of shots, definitely from the 3-point line with Eli. I think he's going to lead us in that, and I'm hoping that we can be sort of that fast-paced team that I personally prefer to play.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah.
With as many guards as you've got, I guess that would kind of play into that. It allows you to get out and get up and down.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
play in transition. So should be exciting, then, huh?
We're excited.
It's going to be a lot of high energy.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping this year at least. So, I mean, the guys have definitely we have I truly believe a better team going into the season than what we did, because of course you said 3 years ago we lost I lost 7 seniors that year and 3,000 point scorers, and I mean you go from that to, which I'm not complaining about last year. We still had a good group and we still competed throughout the district and stuff, but we're a little bit more confident going into the season this year, definitely with the experience that we have coming back.
You know, the district looks a little different this time around,
Yeah.
with Cornersville coming in, but everybody seems to appreciate the proximity that you all have.
And it made sense. I mean, their closest game was 50-minute drive to Fayetteville. So, I mean, we're right down the road, Richland's down the road, and of course, we always started off with Cornersville and ended with Cornersville, and so, I mean, that was always a rival-based thing anyway. So, I mean, it's going to be great having them in the district with their energy that they're going to bring. So,
promises to be an energetic district race with you guys, with Santa Fe, with Richland, with Cornersville, with Hampshire. All of y'all know everybody and probably see each other out and about, that
absolutely.
kind of thing.
And these kids see all the other players, and they're always, you know, trash talking a little bit, and that always just builds the hype up, right?
No trash talk.
Well, I'm hoping they're not doing it to Alden, is what I'm hoping, because I mean,
there's a couple folks that we want to not trash
leave
talk.
him alone.
that's what there was some stuff going on last year, and I had to text Brad and say, look, we're not trying to hype him up any more than what he needs, right?
He doesn't need any more bulletin board material.
Flipped his truck last year, showed up to our game and dropped 35 points in that game. So I don't need him to score 60 on me.
Yeah,
so.
I hear you.
Mike Lovett, Cullioca boys coach, joining us here on the Main Street Maury High School basketball preview. We'll have more after this.
They have always met wildest expectations as far as taking care of my teeth and my health. You know, teeth health is very important now to your heart. And I told him one day, I said, I'd love to have nice teeth and nice hair. And he said, well, I can take care of the teeth, but I can't take care of the hair. And I said, you can make my teeth? He said, yeah. I said, well, let's go for it. And he did. And I have been tremendously pleased. Dr. Hart, if you need him at night, he's here. This staff here will take care of you 24/7. You don't have to worry about, I can't get a hold of my dentist, my tooth's hurting. No, they will be here for you. And if I could get Dr. Hart to take that same artistry that he has and grow hair, then he would be double rich.
Hey, thanks again for joining us here on the Main Street Maury High School basketball preview show for boys. Be sure and visit mainstreetmaury.com for all of our high school basketball coverage. Feel free to subscribe to the print edition as well and get all of our coverage, including our stat leaders on a week-to-week basis and more.
Mailed right to your home. You don't have to pick it up out of the yard.
Don't have to pick it up out of the yard. Don't have to go get it. It's in your mailbox.
It'll be in your mailbox every week.
Yeah, so.
Hopefully.
That's another story.
Yeah,
we won't get into that. But
more times than not, it'll be in your mailbox. But yes, but
playing the percentages.
Yeah, but for $30 a year, it's not expensive. We'll mail it right to your house, and again, you don't have to go to the ditch and get it out, which is
and it's
really
the most consistent and comprehensive coverage of high school sports coverage in and around Maury County. You don't want to miss it.
Also, don't forget, obviously follow us on Twitter at @MoPatton_sports, at ChrisYao14, because just about, any night that there's a game, you can find updates from whatever game we're going to be at. And also MS_sports today, keeping scores from around the local area, retweeting those as well.
Absolutely. And be sure and check out the show, Main Street Sports Today, from 2 to 4 daily, 2 to 4 daily, every day, Monday through Friday. on the Main Street Media TV app or on demand. If you can't watch it at 2, that's okay. You can see it when you want to. So
That's right. It's available anytime on your Apple or Android device.
thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.